Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. My name is Jeff.
Now?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what? I was just
You
starting.
should warn me in the...
Hey,
No, you go.
hey, Trent.
There you go.
Hey, I'm going to start a podcast, okay? Okay, here it goes.
You're such a pain in my ass.
Okay, kids. It's like herding goats.
Just start whenever you want.
Here it goes again. Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. Whew, I had to get that out really fast. With me is the interrupting cow, Trent. By the way, we brought out the A-team today. I fired Phil. We fired Jake. They basically hardly ever showed up anyways and hardly ever did this podcast. So we got taking Phil's place today is Trent.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey.
I wore my shirt from 1967.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I washed it. Never.
Yeah, and I see you're slouching in your chair as though you're kissing the bottom of the table.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Great. And then taking Jake's place, which is some big shoes to fill, is Kylie.
Yeah, my fried chicken review will be coming at the end of the week.
Will
Stand
this
by.
fit in my minivan?
Well, guess what, guys? We start American Fork Podcast. If you haven't known, it's the first time you're listening. This is where we sit here and talk about America and the problems with America because we decided that America is forked. But we also grew up in a town called American Fork. And so, we like to play with words and I don't know how we ended up here. But
Jeff, did you go to Still Days?
Okay, see, you're just jumping to just hold on.
It's an American Fork News.
Phil, you're like this all. I mean, Trent, you're like this all the time.
Did you go to Still Days?
No, I didn't.
Not at all.
Not at all. Oh my gosh. So we talk about problems and news stories, and then somehow they get fixed.
I got kicked out of Still Days.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into that in a second. Here's how I think that we're going to control you today. Is that I'm going to give you the news story that I prepared, and then you're going to tell me what you want to talk about. Yeah, I did.
Oh.
It's weird, but I did.
Respect Jeff's hustle.
Yeah, God damn it. I did. It took me like 5 minutes to do all this.
Out of a work day.
Jake?
A work day.
Lock it up, Jake.
Kylie, you're doing a really good job at being Jake. He would be very agreeable to my efforts.
Thanks, Hefe.
So I actually couldn't find any real good stories, but I did get a text message from a mutual friend of ours, CD, from the Messin' with Mormons podcast. He's like, hey, here's some American Fork news for you. Shout out to CD. Hi, how's it going? There's a guy named Austin Wilson from American Fork. He just made it to day 5 of the World Series of Poker. So there's like 8,000 players that are in the World Series of Poker. He's made it, last I looked, I think there's like 53. He's number 53 right now. And I think total there's like just under 400 players left.
Wow.
So he started at 8,000. Well,
was he already like ranked? I don't know how World Series is. I'm assuming it's like baseball or anything else. Is he already ranked?
I'm grasping at straws just knowing that this story exists. So the details are going to be fuzzy. I can make things up. Do you want me to?
So you didn't do a ton of work on this story today.
The truth is I couldn't find any news stories. But CD sent me a message and just said, hey, this dude's from American Fork. And he's doing really good. I mean, 8,000 players.
What's his name again?
His name is Austin Wilson.
I'll circle around to that last name in a little while.
Let's not call people out, please.
Do they have like stats on these guys? Like how much money they've lost and how much they've won?
Probably not.
And does that go into your selection for the World Series of Poker? I think it should.
Are you trying to start like a, what is that called? Like a bracket challenge?
Oh, a fantasy.
A fantasy
I think there should just be,
World Series of Poker.
maybe. We can put money on people winning and losing money.
I'm here for this.
I think he's got quite a bit of money, and I don't know how that works, but I think that's kind of what they do is that as they win pots, they take more and more money up to the finals and stuff.
Well, you can play like, what's that place called? It's the old 5, Ice House. If you play at Ice House enough, then eventually they will do like an Ice House, a couple different bars around the valley, and then they do like the best of, you play in, and then you can play from there into the World Series
At Ice House.
Oh, so that's like
so it's like it's a play-in. It's like a round robin. Like I don't know what women do. Like you
knitting,
were cute, and then you worked your way in, and now all of a sudden you're a pro. I don't know how it works.
You're a town beauty pageant person,
right?
Or you're the cutest one in your house, and then you go to a beauty pageant. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, there's vacuum lines that are tight, and there's fucking vacuum lines that are tight.
Are we talking about cars now?
I don't know.
I don't know
actually. But no, so you can actually play yourself into the World Series of Poker from the local series.
So it's like a
here in
minor
Utah.
league almost.
Yes.
Like the Bees play into the Angels, right? Is that still how it works?
Let's play with that. Yeah, that's fine.
So it's like the Ice House plays into the World Series.
Yes.
I actually got that. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Interestingly enough, there's an Austin Wilson in the MLB.
Austin Wilson's not a very unique name. Let's just be honest.
What
with
does he
that.
play in the MLB?
Cardinals? I don't know.
Oh.
Cardinal position?
I just see the team name. Actually, that's probably a lie also. I don't know. I'm trying to find how he's doing. I can't find anything.
He's number 53, and I think he's got quite a bit of money to work with.
I'd be interested to see what number 53, if he loses as 53, what is he?
Does he
I
walk
having
away
it
with
back in my
money?
throat.
Yeah, how
that
much
what you're
money does he
wondering?
leave with at 53?
Yeah, is it like the PGA where if you get 26th place, like you're still getting some money?
Or the other PGA, whatever that like Arabian company is.
Do you play with your own money, or do they give you like Monopoly money?
It's a buy-in of 10 grand.
With your own money.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
no
and
Monopoly money.
as you keep going, then it goes up and up and up.
Yeah.
Non-Monopoly.
Monopoly. None.
So I think the rankings are that you basically you're ranked by how much money you have. So everyone started out with 10 grand. Number 1's got the most money. Number 53 has the 53rd most money.
Have you ever played like, not with your buddies, but like,
I've never played with my buddies. On to you, Todd.
have you ever played like poker like my buddy Lee plays in that series I was talking about? That's the only reason I know about this.
Right.
So when you go down there, those serious players, have you ever played with those guys?
No.
Because they will literally, you know, if you get there at 6 and it goes until 2, they will sit there from 6 to 2 and like they'll play 2 hands an hour. They'll just sit super patiently waiting for their hand.
Right.
Like I got out in 5 minutes. I don't have that patience.
Yeah. I've never played it. I've barely played for real for fun. The most video poker and like Texas Hold'em I played is the one where you sit around in a circle and everyone's got a handheld controller. Have you ever played that? It's like a little video poker.
No.
Anyway, that's the only reason I even know how to play. But anyhow, it's a fun game. It really is. Texas Hold'em is.
Without cards?
Yeah. Sorry.
How rich are your friends?
I won $200 on Wheel of Fortune once.
You were on Wheel of Fortune?
No,
Or you
slot.
bet against it?
The slot machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a totally different machine. It's nice.
That's funny. Yeah, I like penny slots. That's where I'm at.
I like penny sluts too, but sometimes you got to step it up.
Sometimes it gets stinky.
Yeah. You're like, you haven't showered.
Okay, so we've been having a lot of fires in Utah, righto?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about this guy? And they figured out there's a big fire in the next valley over in Tooele County, right next to Stockton. Did you hear how that one started?
Didn't they just leave the fire alone?
No. Well, so this is why I brought this up, and I strongly encourage you to seek the video out of this guy. So this new story that just came out today says Utah man heartbroken after generator explodes causing massive wildfire. So they interviewed this guy. He called 911 because his generator caught on fire. It caught a gas tank on fire. It caught a tree on fire, and then it caught his motorhome on fire. Basically, everything this guy owned went up in flames. And this is the first time he ever used this generator.
I'm totally here for that style of a wildfire.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because he wasn't trying to. Normally, it's like people
just
were
like a
lighting meth in the
sweet-
corner.
Like a sweet idiot redneck.
Yes,
who just,
totally
like-
here for that. Yeah. It truly is like people,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was a gender reveal and we had a grenade and didn't realize we shouldn't do this in the middle. Like we were at a bachelorette party
Yeah, I
and
thought you had
ash was
dandruff.
raining down. Yeah, and I
Oh,
hadn't
yep.
showered in a while.
Yep.
And it was just coming down. And
So that
to
ash
hear
was
that's how
from-
it started, that's totally fine with
That's
me.
better. That ash that we experienced on the west end of Salt Lake was from that fire. The same weekend, though, they had another huge fire down in like the Fillmore Beaver area.
Heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Those guys actually got arrested today because there's 4 people camping and it's a red fire. There's no fires. They didn't just like, ooh, we tried to put it out, but there must have been some hot coals. They had a full raging fire and they just walked away.
How drunk were they?
13.
Wow. On a scale of 1 to 10, good for them.
No, it was 1 to 13. but they were
Also
maximum.
good for them. Yeah, that's also great. Yeah.
No, but they actually got arrested.
This guy should. That's my point.
Well, it sucks. This guy too, who I'm gonna show some of the audio here from this guy, but
You
he
gonna
also
show
got,
the audio?
Yeah, isn't that how audio works?
Yeah, you hear with your eyes.
Yeah, you hear with your eyes.
Oh, sorry, Jake. I didn't know that I was the idiot.
It's gonna come out in Braille. This comes out in Braille too.
Do I have to put my face on the screen?
And we have newspaper boys deliver it to people's houses.
The Newsies. That's how we met. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even though this guy is super remorseful and whatnot, and his Chicago Electric Harbor Freight generator caught on fire, I'm just assuming that's where it was from. He still ended up going into jail for negligence and disturbing the community. I can't remember what.
Wait, did he light his? Did he try to turn his generator on by lighting a fucking tank of gas on the outside of it?
No, even though it was an accident, it's just like a car accident. If you accidentally ran a red light, like, you're still gonna get a ticket.
So he's not gonna go to jail.
Did he get arrested or is he incarcerated?
Well, I'm pretty sure they did. They took him in for the day. Probably let him out. You know,
he didn't have anywhere else to go. His house just burned down.
That's
Good
actually
for him.
valid. They
He
probably
was in the
did that.
soft part of jail.
Ooh, yeah.
They probably
still
did
get the
that as a
lotion.
favor.
Hey,
But you guys, okay, listen to this guy.
I sat there in my car that night, watching the East Mountain. Big flames, man, 50, 60 feet in the air.
Gary Carr can only watch as Soldier Canyon burns for the third day in a row, knowing his
so rude,
motorhome and
Trent.
everything he owns is gone.
Anyway, you can tell the guy is quite upset about the situation.
I would be too. How many goats died?
3. I have no. I don't know. I don't think
I have
there's
to
many
sleep
goats
next
out
to
there.
Jake tonight. Don't do that.
We don't
Like,
want to
if a-
get you upset.
If a bunch of people died, that'd be fine. But like horses and goats and chickens,
Like, it's a brand new fucking generator.
Can you sue
Stop
them?
crying? Can you what?
is that like a thing with generators? Do you turn it on for the first time expecting it to burst into flames?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
I think that's how
gotta watch
generators
out.
work.
Uh-huh.
They have the flame button. You push that, pull
Right.
the cord, and it just blows up.
Well, like you guys aren't surprised that a generator is blowing up the first time it's ever lit.
No.
Or ignite. What
No.
What is it?
Start
Turn
it.
on.
What I'm saying is, I think the guy got a coupon in the mail for Harbor Freight, and he went and got a new generator that was just a cheap Chinese piece of crap.
Oh, so it's
Regardless.
like the same as Finger Hut.
Yeah. I think Finger Hut owns Harbor Freight.
Regardless, those generators don't generate flames. That's not what you buy them for, unless it's a different one that I don't know about. So if you're buying like a fucking flamethrower that's named the generator, then yeah, that's fine.
That's
But-
honestly a great idea, though.
We should start making things that are just named something else. Like, we call it the rifle, but it's like a hose. You know what I mean?
For that.
Like a garden hose for your yard.
It
But
would
we
just
just
need
call
to
it the
make
rifle.
love.
No, you just need to give it like the most intimidating dildo names, but for every household appliance.
This is not like you, Jake. What are you doing? So we've got a ton of fires going on. Honestly, the air doesn't look as bad as people are saying, because I've seen other times, like, was it last year or the year before? It was just terrible.
The last like 5 years,
It's been
are there
bad.
a lot of fires going on?
Well, the state-wise, the number one state, this kind of surprised me. The number one state on fire right now is Alaska. And it's
Well,
massive.
normally when our air is terrible, it's not a Utah fire.
Oh, no.
It's a Nevada and fucking that piece of shit California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, so a lot of it's coming from California, Nevada, Idaho, the Northwest a little bit. But I looked at a fire. They have a fire and smoke map, because they'll also track where the smoke's getting blown. And I'm telling you, Texas is like fuego, man. I've never seen anything like that. But
Fuego.
that's
That's fine with
Spanish,
me.
right?
It
En
is-
fuego.
En fuego.
See.
Yeah, that's because
Garcias.
every Californian moved to Texas, and so they took their fire with them.
No, I
I
said
feel like Texas could slough off just as easily as California, and not many people would miss them.
you don't mess with Texas.
I would like the Golf Plus 2.0.
No, leave
That'd be
Alabama.
fine.
They can stay. Alabama's going to be the new Florida.
Which part?
Alabama's the new Florida. I like it.
Is that a compliment?
I know, just like geographically, it's the new Florida.
Yeah. Can you be the new like Louisiana?
That'd be fine.
That's way better than the new Florida.
That's fine.
Like
we'll
that's like
rebrand.
the new uncle that touched too many kids because he's in jail. Do you want to be that uncle?
No.
Yeah. Be the
Not
new
necessarily.
Louisiana.
You're right. You're right, Daddy.
Yeah.
Jake. All right.
Welcome to junior high.
America's largest coffee chain. Who's that?
Starbucks.
Okay, good. Is shutting down several nationwide locations due to safety concerns.
How many? Several.
What kind of safety
16.
concerns?
16.
For workers or patrons?
This is why I brought this story up, because this is kind of crazy to me. Starbucks has long branded itself as like a community hub. Like they get free Wi-Fi. They kind of, even the bathrooms, a lot of times you kind of know as a person, if you're driving around a lot, you can stop at a Starbucks and use the bathroom. You know what I mean? But they had to close down, and I'm skimming through this. I read this, but I'm skimming through it now to find this. But they're saying, the safety of our staff and our guests is like the biggest concern for them. But they announced on July 11th that they're permanently closing 16 urban locations where crime has gotten out of control. 6 of those are just in Seattle.
Which is shocking because that's where they originated.
Right. They're like, listen, on our home base. Why can't or the McDonald's open adjacent to them?
It's not the same price point. McDonald's doesn't value their employees' lives. They're only paying them like $3 an hour.
Also,
Starbucks, it's an investment. It's like $7 an hour.
They do not value their employees' lives either.
Starbucks, they give them like scholarships.
No, I actually
not in Seattle. They don't.
No.
I actually know someone that worked. One of their first jobs was at Starbucks. They worked there for like 4 or 5 years, and she told me, she's like, honestly, it was a great company to work for.
When?
Well, that's true. It was probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Right.
So maybe it's not anymore.
Yeah, the church was a cool spot to work in if you weren't molestable. If you were super ugly,
That's true.
it's a great spot to live.
My edit buttons are going to be all worn out by the end of this episode.
Click.
So here's the reason why. Starbucks spokesperson said the incidents of drug use, theft, assault have been rampant in these urban locations. And so I don't remember this exactly. I vaguely remember it, but there was some situation where the cops had to come to, and it made nationwide news, cops had to come to a Starbucks and like basically evict somebody out of the bathroom. And it was like a couple homeless people that were in there.
Doing?
And I don't know, but
If that's the case, though, then
Showering.
shut shut Seattle down.
They
Shut
needed it a
Portland
while
down.
ago.
Shut Seattle down. Like, shut all of them down because that's just how it is.
But what drugs are they doing? Are they the designer drugs or are they the drugs of riffraff?
oh, just caffeine. That's all they're
You
doing.
don't lock the door if you're doing the fun ones.
You're
because
right,
you're
that's true.
inviting like
Essentially, yeah.
You're
Like
not
you're doing the
locking-
dirty ones if you're...
yeah. If you got to tie off, that's a door locker.
Okay.
You're not locking the door to take a shot of espresso, is what I'm guessing.
Shot of it.
A
Yep.
line of espresso is what you meant to say.
Or that, yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or
Like
a
the
line
good
of the
stuff.
alcohol.
I went to a bachelor party last
God.
month.
Is this a confession?
No, it's just like
Yeah, I
a
went to a
weird
bachelor party.
encounter. Like
I
he
know
came
people
home
getting married. That's all I want.
and he told me this in bed, and I felt strange.
Okay, tell me.
Jake always sleeps in my bed. The dude was snorting
Oh, gosh.
spoonfuls
It's not as good as you think it's going to be.
of whiskey.
Why?
You would say maybe he's a bodybuilder? Nah, nay, no,
Why would I say that?
no, he's not. He's a chunky monkey.
Why would you snort whiskey?
Well, it's super fucking efficient.
Did he have
Is it,
a
though?
rationale, or did he just say, this is me?
I also didn't care to ask. If someone's
Because, like,
snorting whiskey,
knowing
they're
where he
too far
comes
gone.
from, I think it's just like a him thing. I don't think it's for a reason.
It's too far gone.
It's like a party gag. Like, hey,
No,
look what he can do.
No, it's not a party. Like a gag implies that they don't do that on the reg. That's just like a Tuesday for
Yeah,
him.
that's how he winds down after work. Like
I-
a little bit of Stranger Things and just like a couple lines of whiskey. Feels nice.
Netflix and whiskey
Yeah.
through the nose.
I guess. It
I
doesn't have the
bet you-
same ring, but yeah.
Phil notoriously has sinus issues, and I wonder if he just dropped a little bit of Jim Beam through his neti pot.
I couldn't be more happy.
It's
if
like
I
the
were to
most
find that out.
efficient hot toddy. Like put some
There you go.
It is
lemon
actually. Yeah.
and some honey in that. That feels nice.
Oh, I'm going to talk with him about that.
That'll
So you
just
think
clear
this-
you right out.
You're on its medicinal side.
That
now.
is. There were a lot of medicinal things he was doing. Yes. Yeah.
Strange bachelor parties.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've also heard, and I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, that consuming alcohol through other areas of your body that are also exits, that would get poopy, is another way of consuming alcohol very quickly and efficiently into your body.
When I was in high school, girls were like dying because they would put their tampons
Oh my God.
Yeah, parachuting.
in vodka. Oh, we called it soaking.
No, parachuting's a drug reference.
No, it's the same thing.
No,
Anything
it's not.
that you soak and you put in your anus.
You know, they don't put it in their anus. They put it in their other out hole.
That's an in hole.
That's a two-way street.
That particular hole is an
Maybe
in hole
that's why
street.
it felt better for them. I don't know.
So, okay, let's clarify this. Parachuting, I thought, was a reference where you take a square of toilet paper and you crush up pills and you put it in the square of toilet paper, roll it up, and then you swallow it.
That's my same understanding.
No.
Because a wet, soggy parachute doesn't make any sense whether you're jumping out of an airplane
We should
or
look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's when you take a
Who's
drug,
going to sacrifice their history?
put it,
Oh, well, I totally will. I've researched way more questions.
Phil, put it on go
Duck,
duck.
duck, goose.
Go duck.
Go,
Go Daddy.
duck.
Yeah, godaddy.com. Yeah. No, I believe it's when you put them on a piece of paper and you shove them up your butt and then it
Okay.
comes out.
I think no matter what the right answer is to this question, nobody wins.
Okay, final.
Wrong. When you get super high to that perfect spot, you win.
Okay, you guys give me your final answers.
I think it's
My final
crushing
answer
up
is my final.
it's crushing up the pills and swallowing it.
We're all sticking with it.
I'm
Trent,
go-
yours is what
He's
for
going
the
top
record?
down. I'm going bottom up.
Because unfortunately, if I was going to phone a friend on this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would have called
It would
Trent.
be Trent, and
Yeah.
he would be wrong.
Ooh.
What?
Parachuting is grinding up pills, wrapping them in a napkin, and swallowing the napkin as a method of administering the drugs.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
This is Phil signing out.
Goodbye. I
It
like your
does
gym
last
shorts.
longer, and it is more intense than snorting, but it is generally safer than injections, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, I feel better now.
I had
That's fine.
somebody, one of my friends who, I don't know how else to say, he's a drug addict, but he would brag that he'd never injected things, that he only did parachuting and smoking things.
That's
It
like
was
the
heroin.
expensive form of drugs, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, he's still got
the
money.
shooting up and the snorting. Those are the shooting up and the smoking. Those are the cheap ones.
Okay.
The other ones are the expensive ones.
Yeah. And to be blunt, you're saying like,
Blunt?
for example, my friend, he would pop pills and they were legitimate doctor prescribed opioids. And that got too
Which
expensive.
is legal
for him.
if you're Mormon.
Which is legal if you're not Mormon. As long as the doctor gives them to you, then it's legal, apparently.
It's not legal if it's not going to make you to go to heaven, Jeff.
Okay. But then he
Okay.
realized that heroin was a heck of a lot cheaper. We're not talking half price off. It's not like half price special at, Famous Footwear. It's like a quarter the price or less.
It's
I've-
pennies on the dollar.
I've also never done heroin, but if you've ever had a Valium, they say Valium is like prescription heroin,
Is that an opioid? Opioid?
It's
Oh,
not.
okay.
and it is the best feeling you will ever have. I'm assuming it's like having children in the exact same moment that you realize that that's not yours and you don't have to pay for it.
Oh, I thought I was going to go
feeling
somewhere
combined
way nicer than that.
must feel good, and it's the same thing.
So when I had my knee surgery, they gave me a pump and they had morphine in it. So it was a liquid opioid. And I realized at that point, the thing that was crazy to me is they send me home and they say, okay, you push this dial down to 2, but the dial went to 10.
Yeah, they're stupid. That's
I
their fault.
could have double, triple pumped that thing and might have died. I don't
And
know.
you
Could have
did
or
it?
didn't.
No, I didn't. Because I'll
Oof.
tell you what, here's what I did do. I pushed it down to 2 and I was like, just like you thought, your analogy was
I
a little
didn't.
different than mine. Mine was like, I am in heaven and I completely understand why people are drug addicts.
Oh, it's blissful.
But
I get it.
what would 4 do?
I never messed with it.
That's what I want to know is what is 4?
See, this is what the nurse did. This is what the nurse said. She said, you have 10. I think there was 10 units total. She's like, if you use all of them, you're going to have an insane whatever. But when that pain starts creeping back in, you're going to have nothing.
She lied to you.
Probably.
I broke my arm once, and the ambulance guys told me, I remember none of it, but they told me that they gave me enough morphine for somebody like 3 times my weight.
Yeah.
And all I remember in the hospital is like them setting my arm and just like giggling. My parents were just staring at me in like sheer horror.
Because that's not a very beautiful thing to watch.
Oh, because I was such a monster and I felt nothing. I was like, it's fucking awesome.
Yo,
Give
look
me
at
more.
it.
Pump it up. And my parents were just like, no.
Stop. That's funny.
Her bone is coming out of her body.
That's crazy. Well, why did we get on that story? Parachuting. Back to that.
Parachuting.
And then
How did we get
how
to
did we get on that
parachuting?
one?
I don't know.
I'm trying to rewind us back onto track.
Oh, Starbucks.
Can we get back to
Designer
Starbucks?
drugs and
Drugs,
stuff.
Oh, yeah,
drugs
yeah.
that you do in a Starbucks bathroom.
Anything you do in a bathroom in a public location, that's a bad idea.
I think that should be like a new Family Feud category. Things you do in a Starbucks bathroom. Survey says.
My mom. Number 2. Hey.
Good stories. On to world news.
Can we?
Oh, you guys.
I want to bring it back to Utah County, very adjacent to American Fork.
Yeah, I've been moving really fast, so I'm sorry.
Have you read any articles about Zach Wilson?
I don't know what or who that is. What's happening?
What?
So Zach Wilson was like basically Brigham Young, Joseph Smith combined, but athletic.
From the 1800s?
And like very loose rules also.
So he was a bomb quarterback for BYU.
Oh, okay.
As
Got
bomb as
drafted.
you can be coming from BYU.
Well, Steve Young and then him.
Let's not insult
Okay,
Steve Young.
go on.
Steve Young, yeah. So he gets drafted by
the Jets, I believe.
the Jets,
Mm-hmm.
and his girlfriend a couple months ago broke up with him, and like all the rage on the news right now is that.
But she's like high school sweetheart, like
Okay.
saving her virtue for him.
She's also super hot. She's not saving virtue for anything. If
No,
you
but
look at
she's
her
telling
Insta
everyone
face.
that she is. No, yeah.
She
swallowed a bunch of
Mormon.
things.
Yeah.
Parachuted. All kinds
She
of stuff.
injected straight into her throat. She
Yeah.
parachuted nothing.
Yeah. There's 2 holes destroyed. 1 hole pristine.
Got it.
It's the vagina.
So
and
what happened? So he's a quarterback.
He
She's
broke up
high school
with his
sweetheart.
high school sweetheart.
Okay.
A couple months ago, the girl just announced recently, like, best friend, hey, we're together, and everything's blowing up. And so everyone's attacking her. And she came out recently saying that, listen, I broke up with him because he's banging all of my mom's friends. And
Well-
his mother is a fitness instructor at the Treehouse.
Is that like a high end
Yeah.
gym?
A high-end gym
Okay.
in Draper, and just like banging all her his mom's friends.
Okay. So he's acting like Stranger Things Bobby. Right? Is that his name, Bobby?
Bobby?
Stranger Things, the curly haired.
Oh, Bobby. Yeah, he died.
Maxine's
have you
brother.
seen that yet?
Oh, Nike.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
But
okay, I was
for everyone else, sorry.
truly terrified.
Sorry, Jake
That's
effed that one up for you.
Yeah, so he's just plowing through these mid-40s girls, which probably
Cougs.
not.
But like, so what she did is she started dating his ex-teammate who plays for like the Commanders.
Which is
Who's
a
the
nothing.
Commanders?
It's like
It's
a
the new
G-level team.
Washington, like, no, it's the Washington, the Redskins.
which is also a
Oh.
It's their
lower
temporary
level.
name.
So it's not a real team.
It's not.
Are they? They're in the NFL.
If they're not
They're-
not the Redskins, they're not a team.
They're in the NFL,
Okay.
but 31
okay. I thought we were
other
talking,
teams would have
I
to
thought we
die.
were talking about something else. Yes, they are in
Right.
the NFL, but they're a team of scrubs.
Yes.
And so she posted like a picture with him, like very romantic, and people were giving her so much shit for being a homie hopper.
That's a term.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And so she came back and thought she was being all like she was gonna shove it down everyone's throat. She's like, well, he's been fucking my mom, like his mom's friend.
No one cared.
Like trying to throw him under the bus.
okay.
Like it took him from a 7 to a 15.
Right.
Oh, right.
Like her plan completely backfired.
All
This guy
of
is
these-
now a god.
Pro athletes like Metcalf,
They're just
a
like,
couple of
"Yeah!"
they started calling him the GOAT. Like greatest of all time, because it's like, listen, all of us could bang a bunch of 20s to 30s, no problem. If you're banging your mom's friends,
And his
That's
mom
fucking
for sure
next level.
knows. His mom is lining them up in like the hallway of his apartment.
Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, no, she is.
She's pimping him out.
Yeah,
what
she's
is
like,
Jeffrey
"Next."
Epstein's side bitch?
Giselle.
Giselle. She is his Giselle.
R.I.P. though, you know.
What?
Epstein, he dead now.
Oh. Why did you just pour one out for your homie? That's weird.
I have nothing to pour
She
out.
took
okay.
one. She took one weird trip. Jake did. Excuse me. To Epstein Island as a 12-year-old dude, and now she loves it.
I signed an NDA.
All right. I thought it was a DNR.
No. I want to live to not tell the story, I guess.
So this story of this quarterback and his high school sweetheart, is that like some kind of social media thing? I haven't heard anything about it.
Do you
It's
follow
sports.
Barstool?
Oh, not really. A little bit.
If you don't follow like the fringe of like the funny part of sports,
Okay.
then you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Because really, what do we care what he is or isn't doing besides the fact he's from BYU, which is Utah,
So
which the irony of BYU doing anything that isn't perfect escapes
Yeah.
nobody.
That's promiscuous, right?
Right. So
it brought me joy while I was waiting in line to get my birth control.
I was happy that someone at BYU was winning.
They kicked your ass last year.
1 in 10.
Well, they showed up when it mattered.
Okay, you two don't fight. Be nice. World news. Did I go to nationwide news already?
What's it?
What am I-
Just kidding.
Who's in charge of this thing?
Me.
Yeah, I was talking about Starbucks.
Yeah.
So they're closing Starbucks because crime's a little crazy. Because
No one cares.
They have free Wi-Fi and
Right.
whatever. Okay,
Nationwide news should not include Washington, Oregon, or California.
that's valid.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got a story, which I'm sure there's better world news, so if you need to interject a real story, just let me know. But the Russian party proposes replacing Putin's title of president with another old Russian word for ruler.
Which
A
is
czar?
Czar.
No, which is funny, because didn't Obama use the term czar, like the something czar?
I don't know
During
if he
his-
did.
He created some title that was the blah blah czar. This one is proposal to call the Russian leader Pravitel. And I probably butchered that word, which is basically an old Soviet Union term for ruler.
Did you see he's going to become a dad?
How is
At
he
the age
still
of
alive?
69.
How is it the first time? How is that news? Like he's
How do you
probably
get pregnant in 69? Get it?
Jake. You have the dirtiest jokes.
What was your question?
I don't know if there was a question, but I do know that the reason I brought it up that I thought was interesting is just that it sure seems like they're just bringing back the good old USSR, like taking over territories, changing the names. I mean, they flat out said that the word president doesn't even really calculate in
No.
Russian. It's not even a Russian concept. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because there's not like a real true like elector college. Like it's not a real thing. But like at this point, what do we care? Why are we giving them names?
I don't know.
For something that we are trying to understand.
The other thing in it, this could just be the fault of my own, but the one social media thing I consume is YouTube and Instagram, but not very good at either one of them. But on the shorts, like the short films, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Putin coming up lately, and I don't know why. Obviously,
Coming up
it's
with
like,
what?
Like you'll do the infinite scroll thing. It'll just
Oh.
have a video of like on YouTube. It'll just have like a video of Vladimir Putin eating with the crew of a submarine.
Your
And you're
wife's
like,
been gone for how long?
Yeah,
That's why.
exactly. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but normally you're like, listen, I need to get laid. Like I'm 400 swipes deep.
He looks like what Splinter, like the, Splinter the
Yeah.
rat.
Yeah.
He looks like what he used to look like.
If
Like
you-
with a bunch of Botox. He looks like young Splinter.
young Splinter with that shaved.
Yeah.
What? I mean, there's nothing. He's got cancer too.
Does he?
Oh, does he?
Allegedly. Yeah.
Cancer of what?
The person.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I heard he had brain. Someone's accusing him of having brain cancer.
And they say like 3 years is his
He's done.
expectancy.
expectancy. So they're changing the term president probably also so that he can just stay in charge longer. I don't know. Does that matter?
Do they want him in charge?
I think he wants
thought
him in
last I
charge.
heard everyone in Russia thought he was an asshole.
I don't know.
That's like saying that Jake, Phil, and Jeff don't want Trump back in.
I don't understand that.
They
Do
want
I-
Trump back in.
Do I want Trump back in?
Apparently you do now.
I don't want Trump back in.
If you're being Jake, you might need to.
Not need to.
Jake
You're gonna die if you
2.0
don't.
doesn't want that.
Okay. The upgraded Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Phil 2.0.
My software update says no.
Steve Jobs upgraded. So that was my story. I have to admit now that it's come out audibly through my mouth, it's not a very good nationwide story. Or
What about
worldwide?
It's okay.
So they're saying that Democrats right now, Biden has below 33% that approve of his current like
His
status
approval
or whatever.
rating.
Yeah, and then same number below say that he should run again.
Is his approval rating because his kid was smoking crack or because his wife doesn't
That
like
was-
Hispanics?
That was 4 years ago. His wife doesn't like Hispanics?
Yeah, she had to like release some super formal apology like today because she was super racist.
With John-
What did she say?
With John Cena?
No,
Did she learn Spanish to apologize to them?
She had Peacemaker in full outfit with Eagle on his shoulder.
it was funny. She had to release. It was like something to do with them and tacos and something. I need to look it up.
I can't make a fucking taco. Some people make bomb-ass tacos.
Dude,
I can't.
there's nothing like a good taco. And I'm
Heard that.
talking the Mexican food.
Get it?
No.
Oh.
No clue. Not a great taco fan.
Yes, you are.
So Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden had to,
The doctor, PhD. Is she a PhD? Is that the kind of doctor?
she's
Well,
a doctor.
But
or
everyone's like-
PhD, MD is what I mean. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
she's a PhD, not MD.
Okay.
Which also, if you have
So she's a doctor of something.
right, keeping old guys.
Of entertainment arts.
Gender studies.
Yeah, it's like my buddy Brian. He's a PhD
In
of
many
communications.
things, right?
He's not a fucking PhD. Love you, Brian.
All right. Let's see. I really want to find it.
I want you to find out.
Oh,
I want to
there it
hear
is.
what this
Okay,
is so
First
bad. I want to
Lady-
hear the bad things she said.
Okay, so
hopefully
First
the news
Lady-
report says that.
Jill Biden slammed and forced to apologize after saying Hispanics were as unique as breakfast tacos during a recent speech.
What does that even mean?
Also, why is that? How many? There's like 4 different kinds of breakfast tacos.
I don't know. You can get really creative with breakfast tacos.
No, you can get adjacent too. You have like a California, a sausage, bacon, and a vegan. And then you can choose to exclude things.
Chorizo.
Yeah, that's just a spicy sausage.
Oh, that's true.
She said, "We are not tacos. Our heritage as Latinos is shaped by a variety."
Shaped.
Get the
fuck out of here.
Wait, who started their comeback with "We are not tacos"?
It's George Lopez. He responded to this.
Cheech and Chong.
I wish I had read more about this because this is funny.
I agree with that person. They are not tacos.
No, and like, I understand what she was probably trying to do.
Okay.
Do you, Phil?
Well, it's like when someone says something like, I get it. You didn't need to go that far, but like, I see what you were doing, but you sound like an idiot.
Plus, the Bidens are having a rough week.
Yeah,
Did you
I
see that
think.
video of younger Biden smoking crack naked in a mirror, filming himself?
And was it the one where he was
I
weighing?
hope that's real.
Was it the one where he's weighing the crack out?
Yeah.
Yeah. It shows a scale, and
And
he has crack on the scale, and then he like selfies himself. That's
He's like naked. It's like
Young-
a naked mirror selfie of him like with his crack pipe.
Hold on. Young Joe Biden
No,
is
not young
almost.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden Jr. I
Hunter.
don't know his name.
Hunter Biden.
Oh, I was like, young Joe Biden is almost pre-camera. It would be like, he's 79. Who cares what your like? The fact that people are like your kids are. Who the fuck cares?
This kid's off his fucking rocker.
Who cares? He's
I
not
care.
saying I'm doing policy based on my piece of shit kid.
No.
Who cares?
I'll tell you what they care about it is that suddenly this POS kid, all of a sudden after Joe Biden becomes vice president, starts doing very well and starts getting into global whatever. And they're like, come on, Joe, you're using your position to help him out.
You're not wrong. However, the joke is always you realize you're an adult when everyone that you know has done X drug.
I agree. I don't think that you can have the accusation that Joe Biden is too old and his kids are affecting him, because the truth is he's 79. His kids have got to be what, 50 something? They could be in their.
What
He didn't look young.
What president has not gained monetary benefit for them and their kids of time? What president?
George Washington.
Which kids?
I don't know.
Yeah, some of them didn't do great.
I'm just saying that's the only one I bet that potentially didn't.
It's funny
Maybe.
how you ignore certain things so that your situation can do better.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, you look at Trump, and his kids definitely benefited.
Trump, Bush, Clinton,
Kennedy's obviously through the whole.
even if they didn't like benefit from their own thing, like Biden's kids did, and Trump's kids did. JFK, like all these other ones, their kids were infinitely wealthy because their parents were, and they didn't have to do shit. And now people want to drag their kids into it where they didn't before.
To me, what's upsetting is he can clearly afford the better drugs. Why is it crap? Fucking act like you've been here, Hunter.
Act
He
your
was-
age, Hunter.
Yeah.
This was all
Act in
wage.
your age and act in your tax bracket. What are you doing? This isn't a Starbucks bathroom. You're in like a Ritz-Carlton fucking hotel room smoking crack like
Which
a peasant.
makes you feel more sexy, though.
Let's get some good shit. Let's
Yeah.
get some good blow up in here and a couple strippers.
Oh,
where
boy.
was he doing that though?
I don't know. I assume a Ritz. I have no idea.
Right. Was
It appeared
Ritz
to
the
be a-
girl's name?
Could
Okay.
have been a Ritz
Oh.
cracker. It could have. It was like a hotel room though.
Listen, if it's just like a Super 8, it's spot on for a Super 8. Like a Hojo,
But
Howard
he can,
Johnson.
But that's again like just act within your tax bracket. Like you can afford better. Why are you slumming it?
Yeah, but also Trump could have acted as tax bracket. He did pee on Russian hookers. He did.
I think they were
Out of
expensive
principle.
Russian hookers though.
And they was
No,
also in
Russian
Ritz-Carlton.
hookers
They still
out of
came with a
principle
price.
are cheap.
Are they?
When you're in Russia.
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean,
Don't look at me.
I'm saying I've only been there like 20 times. I don't know.
I know there's a lot of bribing that happens.
As Phil, I don't know, but they're super nice.
Wow. Yeah, that was actually hilarious. Look it up. Hunter Biden crack video. I'm sure you'll find it.
There's all,
And probably
like,
20 others.
Yeah.
we're in a different time. Like, give it president today plus 20. We'll see all of their Facebook, their Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
their whatever comments.
Yep.
And not everyone like me was a saint growing up.
Right.
And so everyone's going to have all of these other things popping up where they weren't a saint. And I'm just a genuine person. You're welcome.
Sarcasm is very heavy. But I get what you're saying. Everything's on record. And have you seen like Black Mirror? There's episodes about that where it's like your consciousness is documented and they can
Right.
tap into that consciousness like data, and it's crazy to think that it's recorded like that.
Well, and that shouldn't be, like everyone crucified fucking Romney because he changed his political beliefs between 1912 and 2010.
Or he put his family dog on top of the car and now he
And-
hates animals.
and-
He did what?
In like 1980 something, he literally strapped
Hold on.
a kennel on the
Stop.
top. Oh,
Wrong person.
I'm gonna
So,
cry.
anyways,
What?
so
I'm gonna
what
cry.
happens? What happens in a certain time versus what happens later? Like, if you have an abortion now, it's like what?
What's
you had
the
an
cutoff?
abortion today?
Like, what's the statute of limitations
On
for
which
you
one?
being just anything? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Like, what's the statute of limitations for being an asshole to where we should decide?
It's like
saying
saying it's not the right thing, but there's certain words that you should or shouldn't say, but there's certain times where it has graduated out of the vocabulary.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Or tying the dog to the top of the car where it's like, you can't do that. That's just something that has slowly worked its way out. Like, you used to just hit your wife because that's just what you did.
The quarterly educational slap.
Right. I don't know how else they figure it out if you just don't like fucking 1-2 them.
like here's an example is gosh, there's this Asian comedian. He's really funny. He has a podcast. I can't think of his
say
name
Asian.
right now. Oh,
There's
a human being that has a podcast that I can't tell what
Yes.
they look like.
a person.
It might be male, but anyways, so he was offered this thing with a show, and then he got ready for it and he was doing it. And then he said he walked out and 2 lawyers approached him and said something like, did you say that black people were blah, blah, blah on your podcast? And it's like, what? But the fact that it existed, and it didn't matter if it was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, last week, the fact that he said that, it was now like on record, like social media posts and stuff like that. So because it was on record, the guy didn't end up getting that little thing. It wasn't a big gig, but he didn't end up getting that little thing that he was going to do during this like award show or whatever, because they're like, yeah, we can't have that.
You can be O.J. Simpson and clearly kill your wife.
Yeah.
And it was in the right time. So it's totally fine.
Because there wasn't any social media.
You can be David Letterman.
Do you think he still has that Bronco?
It's a good.
Did he get it when he got out? Like with his pants that he came in?
Barrett Jackson car auction. And I didn't get it. The dude pulled his Bronco up, got out, pointed his jersey. I'm like, no clue. Still don't get it. Still don't get it. And it at a certain time, you could get through a process. And if you assaulted a woman or you were racist 20 years ago, it was fine.
Right.
If you did it 20 years ago and they find out about it today,
yeah,
it's not fine.
If you put it on your MySpace page, it was documented. Oh,
yes, that was pre-today.
Oh, but now you're saying once it flips over into like Facebook, there's a certain point where everything starts getting recorded.
But would you, like, in a non-public figure setting, would you hire someone like that?
Oh, I'm not excusing that it's okay.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, is it a like public figure thing or just an every person thing?
No, it's an every person thing. Like in work, you still like, is this person going to give me as much as it's worth for the drama that came with X? And it's not. It's, did they, it doesn't matter what they did, but is it worth it? And that's the sad part about it now. It's not about really what they've learned or how they've changed or what's happened in that process. It's they did X and it's going to cost us Y to deal with it. No one really cares about what you fucking did or didn't do.
Absolutely not, no.
They care about the repercussions of what you did or didn't do.
And depending on what kind of company it is, like if you're in my field, the construction company, like who cares? But if you're like some startup company that's in the IT industry and that's very like woke and smart, if they realize that you hired someone that was like making a living off whatever, playing blackface, it's like, yeah, we can't hire you. Doesn't matter what your qualifications are.
Look at the Kennedys. The Kennedys couldn't do anything wrong. Fucking Teddy drowned some girl after he fucking threw her off a bridge in the car. He was still fine.
Yeah, it's right. And they could just cover it up.
And right now, he's still like adjacent to Jesus. Like he is fucking amazing. And it's because it happened during a certain time.
Right.
JFK, same thing.
And I think what you're bringing up is that there's the technology and a documentation of social media and all this stuff where there's kind of this cutoff where now from that point forward, you're screwed if you did anything wrong. And what you were saying is what's the statute of limitation, right?
Yeah, when do we stop caring? How long ago did you have to be an asshole for it to be okay now?
But everyone's been an asshole, though. Like, and to go to your point, like, how long ago? Right now, it doesn't matter. It's back to fucking.
That's my point.
Childhood.
I think that what's happening with social media, we got a generation that is literally growing up from sometimes age 5 and 10, and they have a social media. They're documenting all this stuff.
You have to see that arc, though.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes you have bad characteristics and bad things inside of you. You still can achieve great things, and what are you going to do?
And I get what you're saying, and I think this would be case in point. I have a friend who owns a company who almost exclusively now hires ex-felons. The reason why is because in that pool, they find extremely loyal people because they do not. They've messed up obviously in their past. They've had these issues. That's why they're felons. But it gets to a point when they need a chance, and this company gives them a chance, and they go through it quite a bit.
What benefits do they get?
Also, they have snitch.
Amazing. Yeah, they never snitch. They follow the leader.
So if you go through and I had this argument with a friend's wife of mine, and if you start a business who is a woman business and a woman of ethnicity,
Minority, yeah.
and you now get better loans, you get better rates, you get all of these other things that come into it, and now you go through that. It doesn't mean you're a better business. You're not a better person. You played the game in the right way. Do you treat women better?
I can't decide what you're arguing with, though, because all I'm saying is that people have messed up in their lives, and the ability to take someone at face value is slim these days. You can't just see a guy in front of you and say, this is a good person. You can see into their past, and you can be like, man, this guy's a risk because of those things he did 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 3 months ago, whatever that timeline is. But that seems to be going further and further back, especially when you start talking about politicians and stuff. It seems like it doesn't matter. From the time they were born, anything that happens can be brought up as like a
soon enough there'll
thing.
be no. If that's the case, there will be no politicians.
Or
we just all need to lower our standards.
Yeah.
Which it's not.
It's like dating, you know.
Before you did lower your standards because you didn't know what was happening in politicians. You didn't realize that
JFK was messed up.
That JFK was banging anything that had a vagina that walked in. You didn't realize that. What was the gay one?
But
you didn't
wouldn't
realize
be
that freaking
you wouldn't be lowering.
Lincoln was a little bit gay.
Yeah, I think we all just need to realize people have their kinks. People do a bunch of weird shit. Like,
right,
they can still function.
But right now,
as civilians
you can't.
and be normal people.
Yeah.
No, now is like the people are like realizing that, but also you were an asshole, and I'm not quite over that yet. Like now, you should 100% be yourself and do anything you want, and like we love that.
It's like you're
but also everything you've done up until we were accepting it.
Right.
You should be crucified for.
It's like everyone's treading on thin ice. You're kind of like, okay, let's tread this lightly while we go to hire someone.
What is it today that in 2, 5, 10 years, it's like, oh, can't believe you supported that.
Yeah.
That's also fair.
Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you chose right. It's like there's a South Park episode.
Stop documenting. Stop documenting.
That's right.
Oh, I'm live streaming this whole thing right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Jake.
So it's like the South Park episode where the devil is standing up at the pulpit and he's like, okay, so and there's all these like different people in the religions are down in hell, and he's like, okay, the correct answer was Mormons. Mormons was, and everyone's like, and everyone's down there. Oh man, I guess the wrong thing, but they didn't know. Like you're saying, who knows what the faux pas, the bad thing of tomorrow is going to be. You better be on the right side or not have it documented.
No, the sad part is because there were things that were normal. They weren't a faux pas.
Like storming the Capitol was normal.
No, that was a faux pas. But like if you were in like Howard Stern, he showed up on blackface in the 90s, and he lived through it. He's a different character, I know, but like in that time, it wasn't a faux pas.
Right.
It wasn't racist.
Or the story about that girl went to what was it?
Antebellum
Bachelorette
party.
Thing.
And it's kind of like,
party.
yeah, to her at the time, I can see, and then you look in hindsight, which is always 20/20, you're like, that was terrible. And she's probably thinking like, ooh, I want to get dressed up.
Yeah, she bought a cool dress. She's
Yeah.
ready to rage.
Right. I can't remember what we talked about this, Jake, but I can't remember what college it was, but they
Yes, Phil.
it was like Georgetown or whatever, but like they were talking about the repercussions that they were going to pay back because
Oh, the reparations.
Because at the time the school is bankrupt, and this was like 18 fucking whatever,
Right.
and they sold slaves to help pay to keep the college open, which yes is wrong. There's no
taste.
question about that.
Yeah, we fought a civil war
But
over
it is wrong.
It's wrong. We decided.
It wasn't wrong at the time for their address. Is it wrong? Yes, but you have to have the time and place to say this was wrong for X and Y. And these guys were like, well, what are you going to do?
Right.
Do you pay every person you sold? And their response was, we're going to name buildings after people.
Oh, that pays for it.
But what do you need to... I've never fully understood the reparations thing. Like, I get it, like, slavery, I understand that part. but it's so long after.
I don't
Like,
understand
who
how
are
you
we-
meter it. And it's the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Is-
like, how do we decide an amount and who it goes to?
And
when,
for what?
when is
And
it
for why?
satisfied?
And why? And when is it satisfied? Like, at what point is enough money going to satisfy whatever
Right.
the wrongdoing was?
And I think that's the reason why people can't figure it out, is because it's not about what you should or shouldn't. It's who gets what and where. Like, say that your family, all of a sudden, your family's wealthy because of whatever, and you're of that ethnicity that is downtrodden, and some other family isn't. Should you be paid more or paid less? As far as, because who knows why and what and where? What's the measurement there? And I'm totally here for it, because it was totally fucked. There's no question with that. But what's the metric?
Yeah, and when is it satisfied? Because frankly, some of the things that are talked about, there is no financial. It's like, is it an apology, just saying I'm sorry, or is there like an infinite financial, like, I'll take care of your family for the rest of the generations to come, like,
Right, forever.
and to me,
You
it's
can't
a very
make it right.
difficult way, like who determines that and all that jazz, right?
is it like a last ditch effort? Like, we don't know what else to do.
I think
Just-
it's like something needs to be done, but how do you correct that because you got to change
Generations.
both people's mindsets
Yeah.
of, okay, we've now been paid and we're equal, or we've paid them and they're equal, or,
People oversimplify things, I think. Is that kind of what you're saying?
and maybe, but everyone has that fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know, like, if there's plenty of people, like Brittany, my assistant, I will literally open the door for her, like, you go. She's like, no, you go. What? She's like, you don't need to open the door for me. I apologize.
Yeah.
I was at the door first, and so yeah, you're right. Fuck
Yeah,
you. I'm
you
gonna
open
close
the door for me.
And that's her thing. Everyone's got a different thing, but I was taught it doesn't matter, guy, girl. If you're there first, you open the door.
Yeah. See, and,
You guys go.
The thing I think that's really interesting you brought up is, what is the thing for in the future that
Right.
we're going to get crap for now? Am I going to catch eternal hell and have to, beg for forgiveness because I have a vehicle that gets less than 10 miles to the gallon and I actually drove it around? That
Right.
could be a thing. Maybe the world gets, destroyed because of, overconsumption of oil. And they're like, what, Jeff? 20 years ago, you had a vehicle
Right.
that, oh my gosh.
But
Do you
imagine-
realize what you did?
So it's the same thing with me. Like, you bought a vehicle.
Uh-huh.
I built a vehicle
Yeah.
that gets under
You're dead. You're the
probably
worst.
under 6 miles to the gallon. And now, like, not only did you not eliminate, you went out and you pursued it.
Right.
You made it happen.
You
And it's like,
monster.
I did, but it was fast. It was cool. It sounded nice. I liked it. What's the limit?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about this in 20 years. I'll put it in my calendar that we'll
this.
talk
Send
about.
me a scheduled email.
What things do we regret from 20 years ago?
Regrets.
Well, the thing
Regrets.
is now, did you see that they're trolling social media to get a gun license in New York?
Oh, I did see that. Who brought that up on our little thing? So yeah, they would go back through your social media to see what you have
they
said,
need
haven't said,
access
what's going
to
on.
your whole history for you to be granted a license.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just to make sure you're not
Here
a
we
crazy.
go. Don't be crazy. That's our advice.
Don't live in New York.
That's another
Also
good
that.
piece of advice.
Yeah, there's a couple states don't live there.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, I have a main topic for tonight, but it was more just curiosity, knowing that I was going to be talking to you two. Is that, and also, Kate, I have to go out and say I got COVID and I was out for
What?
2 weeks.
No.
Yeah, 3, not really,
No, a tummy hurts.
but my tummy
Yeah.
hurts and I cough.
My back hurts. I can't smell. I can't taste.
But I didn't want to get into all that. But I did miss out on basically 2 weeks of summer, which sucks because
What was her
summer's-
name?
Summer.
Oh, I like that girl.
Summer's
She
awesome.
hot.
So we've done some cool things this summer so far. But like, what have you guys done something super cool this summer?
Haven't left the house until today.
Oh my god! And we're still at your house. You know
That's
that, right?
a lie.
No, we're at the garage. It's detached. Yeah, we've done a lot of cool things.
Like what? Tell me.
We went to the lake. Oh,
Which lake?
fuck. We're going to Powell in a month,
September.
2 months. We go to East Canyon a lot. We went to Moab and it was hot as the devil's asshole.
Literally the most miserable trip I've ever been on.
Really? Did you guys camp while you were there?
We did. It was
With 3 dogs in a tent.
Oh, that was the weekend we went to Northern California. Huh?
yeah. Phil
Oh
went
my
to sleep
gosh.
Jake went to sleep at 10 o'clock at night. It was 98.
Oh my gosh.
With
I heard
3
Phil
monster
wake up
dogs on top
at
of
like
me.
11:45 to turn on the car to kill the environment.
I'm still Jake in this scenario.
Yeah, Jake, he's not a great cuddler. And so Jake went to sleep in the car with the AC on, and Phil
You're making this
and
confusing
Phil's
for
3
me.
children,
Uh-huh.
Zoe,
No, stop
Sasha,
it. Stop it. Okay, so
Carol,
you
Beth.
went camping with Kylie
whoa,
and the 3 dogs.
yeah.
Oh,
and,
okay,
and
good.
so she went to sleep in the car because
Had air conditioning.
Yeah.
I don't do well in the heat.
she doesn't do well in the heat. And
I was butt ass naked on the air mattress,
Ugh.
like 2 fans blowing on me,
Ugh.
and
That's not the naked part. That's
every
the hot
single
part.
one,
Oh,
every
jeez.
single one of our 80+ pound dogs
Uh-huh.
wanted to sleep on me, and I lost my
They're
ever-loving
slobbering.
shit. No, just
No.
panting.
The
Like
good
the
thing
whole
is-
bed is just
so when
not in the fun way.
when I went to sleep, the dogs slept not near me because they know that's a very punchable zone if it's that hot. So 2 dogs outside, 1 dog remotely but within farting distance.
Oh god.
always.
Yeah.
There's nothing more miserable than trying to sleep camping when it's like above 85 degrees.
Yeah.
Even 80s
It was
pushing.
fine because like in my mind I had already done that. We did 6 hours of off-roading and it was
Oh.
plus 105. But
Again,
no,
with
we've
3
done
dogs.
we've done a lot of fun summer stuff.
Yeah, why are you bringing up this crappy thing when I said what's something
Just
cool?
because it was a very different we spent 5 hours in the Colorado River.
Yeah, I'll be on.
Which is cool.
I'll be in a hospice and talking about that trip.
And sometimes those are the best,
It was
even though
so fucking terrible.
yeah.
Like now we can laugh that we didn't get in a big fight.
But we have cool like we're going to I think Patagonia at the end of the year. We're going to Lake Powell.
Wait, Patagonia the store?
Yeah, they have a really good late end of the
that's
year
cool.
sale.
I'm
It is
exclusively going to wear only Patagonia while we're in Patagonia.
Someone's gonna punch you in the face for
I
that.
really hope they do. That'll
Yeah.
be a great picture. I'm
They're gonna be like, oh, here comes one.
here comes
Deck them in the face.
They're back.
as I'm smuggling a penguin out from under my
As you're
shirt.
watching, as you're wearing $780, it's just shorts, socks, and it's shirt
That's right.
and a jacket. Fine. Okay, so you guys are going to Patagonia. Mm-hmm. Really? Mm-hmm. That seems cool.
Either the Chilean or the Argentinian.
Yeah, we just decided today, so we're very early
Oh, okay.
in planning.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's cool. That was the next thing I was going to ask is if you had any cool plans coming up.
Yeah, but
That's pretty cool to me.
That's like Christmas, so I don't think Santa's gonna find us.
And that's not even really. Yeah, that's not even really summer.
No.
we're doing Powell in September, summer party, and then we'll have a hiatus,
Isn't Lake Powell like River Powell now?
essentially.
Don't be a dick.
No, I'm serious though. Isn't it like someone told me it was the lowest levels it's been since the 60s
You know.
Super low.
when they were filling
Yes.
it up.
When they first made
Yes,
it.
it is. It is the lowest when it since like started filling it up, but
Don't jinx it.
it's gonna be fine.
We're
Oh,
trying
there will
to-
be water there. You guys will be fine.
I have friend Tyler.
It's
and
just
them
how
are
much
there right
water.
Oh,
now. I
Our friend Tyler.
where
no. Well, he should be there right now, but we're not making that joke. Yeah. People. I know people there right now.
what's
Good.
happening?
I'm sure there are people there right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is good to know.
good.
You know remember when we went camping at the property and we thought that it was the apocalypse?
Oh yeah,
So we're getting that for Lake Powell. We're
Oh.
investing in Starlink.
Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the listener that doesn't know, we went camping and Starlink. We saw the line of satellites and thought for sure it was Independence Day alien invasion.
Yeah, at least we were all together.
Yeah, but is that actually usable now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was then as well.
Really? Huh.
So what is it? Between $500 and $700 to set it up.
So it's a $600 fee for the equipment.
Okay.
And then monthly, it's like 130 something.
But you can turn it on and off
Monthly.
anytime without like a setup or disconnect. Which
Okay.
Like it's meant for the nomad.
Yeah, like my parents' house in wherever that is, their argument was like, we have to pay this termination fee and turn it on fee and monthly fee. Like,
Right.
It is what it is. But like to be able to go camping and be able to have all of that stuff still,
Yeah.
like I can't work remotely, but I'd like to be able to.
Yeah.
So if we could work towards that, that would be cool.
I think it would be super cool to be able to have like a camper and just like if you could work from home and just travel.
Right.
Just travel on the weekend and then camp for a week somewhere or
Yeah.
whatever. That'd be dope.
Even if it was on the road Thursday night through Sunday
Yeah.
and you drive back to work Monday and you drive to the spot Thursday night,
Right.
that'd be cool.
So you guys are trying this out on your Lake Powell trip? Mm-hmm. Cool. You'll have to give us an update.
Done
And
many
tell us-
YouTube videos.
We'll call in from Lake Powell.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
That would actually be pretty cool. But this is how your review will go. You know how like the internet is a thing? We did that, but it was at Lake Powell. That's basically how it'll be, right?
No, we'll just be really drunk.
Oh, we're going to be so drunk.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys. You guys get A minuses
Oh.
for taking. Hey, that's a good grade.
All right.
That's a good grade.
Better than I
Whatever.
thought. It's fine.
A plus is what I meant. You guys really brought it down. You did pretty good at being Phil. I'd slouch a little bit more. You're doing good. And then Jake being played by Kylie today. Thank you very much. You were not quite as lewd as Jake usually is,
Man,
but that's okay. It's all right.
room for improvement.
Yeah.
Plus, she kept her top on the whole time.
I know Jake never does that.
No.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. This is the Jeff, Trent, and Kylie show. Good night.
Hey!
Bye.